What's up there, guys? This is another episode of The Dark Ninja! What's up, guys? This is another episode of The Dark Ninja. I just want to go ahead and make that second round of versing the Jefferson Spatchcock group. Jefferson, or Jeff, whatever you want to call him, is actually off his meth. So he's actually there, and you'll see that. And the whole subject is actually a completely different subject this time. You know how before, I'm like the alpha troll and all that stuff, and I'm good at trolling and making people mad. Well, this video is actually not a troll video. Like, I'm actually being sincere about my defense in the political area. I just wanted to let you guys know that these are actually my thoughts, and I'm not trolling or nothing like that. So enjoy the show, guys. How y'all doing today? Hey,
Doing all right.
I was watching the stream. Hey, I was going to ask y'all, so what are your thoughts on Twitter banning Trump?
It's okay.
Good.
It's fine.
I think it doesn't really make a lot of sense to do it now. I mean, well, it does now because he incited some riots and shit. But the fact that they could have done it before. They're a private company, and it's not censorship for a private company to just deplatform somebody. So yeah, I think it doesn't matter.
So do you support Twitter having more power than the president of the United States itself?
They're a privately owned company, so they can do what they want.
On that, what you're asking me is like, do I think it's okay for the president of the United States to have less power than a grocery store? Like, imagine that if he was at a grocery store with a grocery card, and I was like, do you think it's okay for Meyer or for Kroger to revoke his shopper's card?
So let me ask you this. So do you think?
Yes, I do.
Would you,
I think it's
would you be okay with Kroger banning, let's say, gays, Latinos, black people?
That's different, though.
No, it's a privately owned company, right?
Gays and Latinos aren't causing riots.
That's different, though.
No, it's a privately owned company. Right?
Gays and Latinos aren't causing riots.
It's a privately owned company, isn't it?
Yeah, but what are they using? They're not using whoa, hey, yo, Renee. They're not using if they're not using the platform to actually peddle any of this kind of stuff, it doesn't matter. But if let's put it this way. Let's say that one of these LGBTQ types, right, that's using one of these platforms that you're talking about, is actually fomenting a revolution in a state and advocating for violence against the state capitol, and urging a bunch of Antifa types to just take over the Capitol. Do you think it would be bad then? for that platform to ban him?
Hold on. Rewind. How was Trump inciting violence? He told him to go home. He told him. He even condemned their violence afterwards. He made a video.
Yeah, afterwards.
Dude, he went out and talked. He gave a speech. In his speech, he gave a greatest hits litany of all the bullshit.
No, he told him to go support him.
Hang on, bro. He gave a greatest hits litany of all the stupid stuff that he's been peddling for at least 5 years, right? He goes out there and he tells them that, and he's like, hey, now you're all going to go. Now, I'll give you this. He told them, he's like, now you're all going to go down there and march, and I'll go with you. He lied there because he didn't actually go with them. But he's like, you're all going to go down there, and you're all going to cheer on our senators and congresspersons that are going to, fight against this, whatever, this bullshit, right? Even though the bullshit that he's talking about is bullshit. So this happens, right? These guys go down there. It turns out that for weeks, these particular groups that were actually planning on marching down to the Capitol were planning on taking things like flex cuffs and building, a gallows to hang, and then they just start chanting "Hang Mike Pence" and all this other kind of shit. They start doing this stuff after the fact that he's told them this. According to Senate aides, following this, he was delighted to see the actions of the rioters. He was delighted, even though some of those rioters were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence," his vice president. So anything that you've got to say to me about like whatever Trump has to say or think about any of this kind of stuff, I don't give a fuck, because this dude is an agent of chaos. He basically is a Batman villain at this point, and no one should give a fuck what he thinks or does.
Just to counter that, and I'm just civilized. This is a civilized debate, by the way. I'm not mad or anything. So
no, this is my channel. It's not going to be civilized.
Okay. I guess if you want to get mad, go for it. But me, I'm just trying to debate here. So, okay. Here's the thing. So his last message was to condemn the rioters, and when he addressed the nation, he said that those rioters are not supporters of his. He said he denounced them, dude. He doesn't like.
He denounced it after. Not during. And after, when he was already in deep shit.
And let's not be kids about this.
Mike Pence is a traitor. And Mitch McConnell.
Let's not be kids about this. Let's not be kids about this. Trump didn't actually believe any of that shit that he was actually putting out there as a matter of public courtesy. He was putting that out there because his handlers were telling him this is how you need to do things in order to be presidential. Because up until that point, he wasn't being presidential at all. Even when he actually gave his little Twitter speech and he was like, "You're special. I love you. I understand why you're upset. We stole things from you." Yeah. None of that shit. Dude. Let me ask you this basic question. Imagine if during any of the Antifa, any kind of Antifa or Black BLM riots were happening, right? Barack Obama came out and said, "Look, rioters, I get it. I love you. You're special. I understand where you're coming from. Burn that Dunkin' Donuts down. Blah 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 blah." Like he didn't. Hang on. He didn't even have to do that. And the right wing tarred him with that association. This ding dong actually said that and said, "You're special. I love you. I get it. Try to go home and sleep it off, even though they stole everything from me and I'm being fucked over." Blah blah blah. Yeah. So he said that, and then now everybody is supposed to forget the fact that he did that.
But he didn't incite no riot.
Let me know when you're sharing my screen, Jeffy.
Are you crazy?
No, he didn't incite the riot. Look,
just share my screen. That's all you got to do.
All right. Let's see your screen. Let's see what it says.
We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and congresswomen. We're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them because you'll never take back your country with weakness. You have to show strength. You have to be strong. And then down here, what do we have down here? What do we have down here? We have to come to demand that Congress do the right thing and only count the electors who have been lawfully slated. Lawfully slated. I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. Today we will see whether Republicans stand strong for integrity of our elections, but whether or not they stand strong for our country.
Right, but he doesn't say nothing about riot. Go and
so
go to the Capitol and riot.
Can I ask you a question?
He doesn't say anything about that.
Hold on.
Oh,
I want to ask you a question. Hang on, guys. I got a really good point here.
Leo, yeah, I understand that you're going to say that, but let me just point out one of the things that you said there. I don't give a shit that somebody like Trump didn't explicitly say anything when the fact that Obama wore a tan suit and he gave up the country somehow. Okay, that happened. 8 years of Obama being in there, and things that he did, things that he wore, the drinks that he drank, somehow signaled something implicitly to all of the anti-Obamaites that this is what this guy is up to. And yet, when somebody like Trump communicates something loaded with implicit nastiness, right? It's in there. And we're expected to ignore it like we're fucking morons. And you guys are like, well, he didn't explicitly say revolution or sedition, so he's not guilty of it. Yeah, he fucking is. Yes, yes, he fucking is.
What I was going to say would withdraw on this point. So what you're saying, well, he didn't explicitly say go riot. It's no different than if I say, well, you don't like black people, and they say, are you calling me racist? And then I respond with, well, did I explicitly say you were racist? Well, obviously I didn't, but the you don't like black people kind of means the same thing. You can say the same thing in a softer manner.
So I know some coworkers who would rather date a black woman than a white woman. I know some coworkers.
But that's not what I said. I didn't say anything about dating. I said that you actually don't like black people.
It's like a preference.
I wouldn't date a man, but that doesn't make me homophobic. So it's not the same thing.
Exactly. There. Exactly.
Yeah, but if I said that I didn't like gay men, that does make me homophobic. So you're not even you're completely trying to conflate something that's not what I'm drawing an analogy to, and it's just wrong.
So you're saying not condemning Antifa
I don't like
BLM
black people, and somebody saying I'm not, black men or black women aren't entirely my type, but I don't have a problem with black people. Those aren't the same thing, and you're trying to say that they are. They're not.
He still didn't incite no violence. I don't know what point you're making.
Hang on, my man. Like, here's the thing. Obama campaigned on his campaign message was one of change and hope. That was transformed by people like Glenn Beck into one of radical change, into a message of Marxist transformation, a radical retransformation and reorganization of the country into something that we can no longer recognize, and ultimately morally and ethically and politically cannot, and ethically we can't consort of, we can't agree with, right? This happened for 8 years of Obama. Now what we end up getting with Trump is that Trump can use the same fucking language, and people are like, well, he didn't explicitly say go and raid it. Okay, neat. But he said you can only do this if you can only show strength. You never give in. We will never concede. You can only be strong.
He incited violence. He just said show.
He did incite violence. Death by combat.
Yeah. When Rudy Giuliani spoke before him, he said we should have trial by combat. And then Mo Brooks spoke, I think, either between the two of them, and said something like, "Yeah, we need to raid the place" or something like that. Like, okay, so you don't need to be objective. You don't need to be explicit about this, and this has been known amongst right-wingers for a long time. They will listen to an entire speech from Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton or Biden, Kamala Harris, Obama, even Michelle Obama. And they will listen for all these like little weird dog whistles that they think are like little signals to the Maoist left that they think is just ready to pop out of the woodwork and turn the government into some kind of crazy version of East Germany from the 80s. Right? That's the shit that they keep talking about. But then when I hear you coming on here like, well, he didn't explicitly say that. No fucking shit. He didn't say that. He doesn't fucking have to. The right wing has known for 80 fucking years it doesn't have to explicitly say a goddamn thing. All it has to do is say that these people don't belong. And these people, quote unquote, are whatever you want. Blacks, Jews, Hispanics, immigrants, whatever.
Leftist, socialist guy. Can I draw another analogy? It's like if somebody said, listen, these banks have been taking money from you guys for too long. You've got to go to these banks and you've got to show your strength. We've got to take back our money. That belongs to us. And then a bunch of people rob the bank. I'm sorry, but you're going for jail for essentially telling people to rob a bank. It's the same basic principle. Because you didn't say, hey, go rob the bank, doesn't mean you weren't implying that these people should go rob the bank.
Okay, so if he should go to jail for quote unquote inciting violence, then Biden and Kamala should also go to jail for the past BLM/Antifa riots.
Oh, shut the fuck up, dude!
Why?
Do what? Okay, so them destroying.
No. I'm gonna hang on. No, shut up.
So you're not condemning their violence.
No, shut up. Here's the problem. Hey, shut up. This is my channel. Shut up.
Dude, why are you getting heated up for?
Here's the problem with it. The reason I'm getting heated is because you're trafficking in nonsense. Here's the problem with that. If they were doing that, yes, I would agree with you. But here's the issue.
There's reports, dozens of reports of them.
I can actually cite you studies where
Stop it.
5% got violent out of thousands of protests.
Here's my issue. The issue here is that the reason that these people were protesting was because the government was so corrupt. It robbed the election from the president, right? From the president's second term, and guess where that word came from? The guy that lost the presidency. They got this word, they got this message from Donald Trump. He specifically went out and told them, this is what's happening. I'm being robbed of my second term, and therefore any of you who voted for me are also being robbed of your democratic right. Even though that can happen if it turns out that more people vote for the other person than vote for you. It didn't matter. This guy went out, this guy went out and told people that. If you're trying to say that this is somehow equivalent to Biden and Harris in word only, kind of agreeing with the because this is how
Kamala has raised a fundraiser to release those BLM riders who got locked up, dude.
Let me actually speak
Kamala
on that.
has never condemned the violence, dude.
Stop it. What's usually happened with between Biden and Harris when it comes to like Black Lives Matter, what they usually do, they will support the fact that they're protesting this injustice. They usually condemn the protests because they're happening during a pandemic, and then they usually can't condemn any violence that happens adjacent to them. That's what they do. It's completely soft shoe.
But it's not peaceful protests. They're destroying cities and destroying businesses.
I'm
not talking about the protests. I'm talking about their responses, ding dong. I'm talking about, you brought up what Biden and Harris do when it comes to supporting those things. They support the message. They shouldn't support it. They
didn't support the riots.
They don't support riots. They don't even really support the protests because they always add the. Hang on.
Kamala has made a fundraiser to release those fucking people that got locked up. from
That's
BLM
actually wrong.
writing.
That is separate from
No,
what was
on our
happening
Twitter.
beforehand.
I
I'm
can
gonna,
actually prove
dude,
you
I'm
wrong.
gonna dump you if you keep this shit up. I'm serious.
Wow,
I'm serious.
dude.
Fucking stop this. Look,
You're being
listen
a
to me.
Marxist, dude. Just debate
No,
civilly.
fuck off. Hang
Wait,
on.
hold on. Did you just call him a Marxist?
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Can you define what Marxism is? No. I'm being serious.
No. He's being
can you
either
define what
my
Marxism
way
is?
or the highway. That's what he's doing.
Define what
He's being a
Marxism is.
Twitter.
He's being
not
a
Twitter
Marxist.
critic, dude.
That's
That's
not
what Twitter does. That's what Twitter
Define
does.
what
You're
Marxism
not Marxist.
Trying to silence, always trying to silence
Define what
us.
Marxism is.
Like, I'm just trying to be on here.
No.
and debate
I want a
civilly, dude.
technical definition of
And
what Marxism
this guy and y'all are just like either listen
gotta
to me
get one.
or I'm booting you off. Like, we can't be
Can
the
you give
same.
one? Can you give one? Can you tell me in a technical way what Marxism is?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, man. If you're going to define for me what my stance is one more time, I'm going to kick you off my fucking channel. Do you understand that?
So it's either I agree with you or else. That's pretty much
No.
how it is.
No, it's not.
He's saying,
I'm
don't
trying to
call
debate
him
with
saying
you.
you're this or you're that.
Something
what you're doing.
ridiculous, and you won't get kicked. Okay, I'm going to talk about the fundraiser that you keep mentioning.
He's gone. Fuck him. I'm tired of listening to that fucking idiot. Look, here's the thing. If you're still watching this shit in the background, ding dong, here's how it fucking works. If I'm doing a channel and if I'm actually channeling any of this shit, here's what I'm actually putting out there. I'm not trying to put out some bullshit to defend either Biden or Harris. I couldn't give a shit. My issue here, given the issues that are going on right now, is the fact that the current sitting president held a rally and whipped up a bunch of people to fucking hold an insurrection at the fucking Capitol to hopefully turn the election around in terms for him, right? To overturn and disenfranchise 81 million voters in terms of in favor of the 74 million voters that voted for him. That's my issue. That is my issue with this. That is a constitutional issue. If you have an issue with that, you can come at me, bro. All right, because that's a fucking problem. If you think that you're some kind of fucking conservative and you're some free speech idiot that thinks that this is how things need to work, you can go right the head at me.
Notice how he says, if you have an issue, you can come at me, bro, but then he fucking silences me. Like, I don't understand liberalism. Like, had they even found a cure for liberalism? And I'm speaking to most of the haters out there. He tells me to come at him, but how can I come at him if he silences me? I don't understand that. Can someone explain that for me?
But that is not how things actually work. The guy that you're supporting, or at least excusing, or defending, or trying to be an apologist for, was actively trying to work up a significant portion of the population to disenfranchise 81 million voters and their voting choice. That's what was happening. That's what you did. That's what these idiots did. And if you think that that's okay, there's something fucking wrong with you. And if you think that's constitutional, you're fucking stupid.
So
you're back now. Go ahead and say your piece. And by the way, at this point, I'm just going to I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to step away for just a little bit. Leo, the leash is off. Help yourself.
wait, no, let me finish.
I still want him to define Marxism. He called you a Marxist and didn't define it. I just want him to define it because I would bet that if I asked him to list any Marxist theoretical work, he couldn't name one title. Probably he's never read a fucking word of Marxist theory in his life.
Probably one, and that's it.
Okay, I don't even think y'all need to listen to Tim Pool. Y'all need to listen to him. He's a Democrat / liberal. He's pretty,
No,
and he
he's not.
supports Trump.
No, he's not.
He supports Trump. Yeah, he supports Trump. He's
I
a
watched him
liberal
debate
Democrat.
Tosh and Destiny, both of which are leftists, and he disagreed with them on everything. He is nowhere remotely close to the left, and those aren't the only two.
Yeah, he is. He's a classical liberal.
No, he's not.
Classical liberal.
No, he's
I'm a classical liberal. Yes,
No, you're not.
like you gotta listen to him. You gotta.
I have, and a lot of what he says is just dumb. Like,
What do you mean it's dumb? Wait, how is it dumb?
Troglodyte. It's dumb because it doesn't align with the actual academic data done in those particular fields, whether it's
Dude, Trump has
sociology,
done
whether
so
it's
much more than
economics.
Obama in 4 years.
No,
What has he done? What has he done? Hold on.
Wait,
What has he done?
tell me he cut taxes on the wealthy. He deregulated the economy. He made it. Well, I mean, we're in one of the worst.
He's made this country.
self-dependent on Obama literally bailed out the auto industry. He cut the employment he cut unemployment in half. He caused peace in the Middle East. I can cite sources back home. How many do you want?
There's still war in the Middle East. I hope you understand.
Literally. I'm not saying all of
Israel's bombing
and what his tariffs did to the
Emirates. Huh?
I said not to mention what his tariffs did to the agriculture industry.
Oh, what did it do?
Well, let's see here. And I live in Iowa. Like I literally work on farms. I'm actually a member of the American Farm Bureau Federation. Every Wednesday I get there the spokesman, which is kind of like a political thing that they have. And I can remember that they were talking about in the first 2 days of the implementation of the tariffs, the price of soybeans dropped to 23 cents. 23 cents, one of the largest drops in the shortest period of time that has ever been seen in U.S. markets. At the same time, over the next month from him announcing the tariffs, the pork industry lost $2.2 billion in revenue. These were enacted in April, I believe. They were announced in April of 2018. By the end of the year, the shipments of soybeans to China had dropped 96%. 60% of soybeans grown in the United States go to China. He literally destroyed the soybean market. I can still tell you that I remember watching co-ops literally pile beans in fields because they had nowhere else to put them because they couldn't sell them. I can't tell you. Farm bankruptcies increased 23%. Yes, he decimated the agriculture industry in this country.
Decimation!
The very people who supported him, who gave him his victory in 2018 or 2016, he decimated their industry with his terror.
No, did it? Where'd you get your facts from? CNN?
I told you, American Farm Bureau Federation, which isn't liberal. I can tell you because I'm which isn't liberal. I can tell you because I'm a member of the organization. I talk to their members. I live in rural Iowa. I work on farms. I can bet I know infinitely more about you than this. Drovers Magazine, Agriculture.com, the National Farmers Union.
Yeah, but Trump's trying to help you out, and you're not being appreciated. He's trying to get you $2,000.
None of these organizations are liberal. So
you don't care about Trump trying to help you out.
Because he destroyed their markets. But tell me more about how it's okay to give out these socialist handouts when it's farmers, but now when it's poor people who can't feed their fucking kids.
So you're a farmer.
Am I a farmer? No, I don't own a farm, but I work in the agriculture industry.
Well, you don't really know what's going on then.
Yes, I do. Dude, I live in the state. How many farmers have you talked to? How many farms have you driven by? How many
I don't know why you're mad, dude.
Are you a member?
I'm trying to help you out.
You keep telling me I don't know. I'm a farmer, dude. But I'm literally somebody who's worked in the industry for over 10 years. I would bet I know infinitely more about this than you could ever hope to know.
No, you don't.
Really?
You're not a farmer. You don't know. I'm a farmer, dude.
Really? What do you grow?
I'm a farmer in Texas.
What do you grow?
Do you do cattle?
I mean, I'm not going to dox myself, but I'm a farmer in Texas.
What crops do you grow?
Like what industry? Like what part of the agriculture?
Yeah, no, I mean that's a fair question. Like,
what crops do you grow?
Are you a rancher? Is it mint? Are you a commodity grower?
Farmer.
What crops do you grow?
You're a rancher and a farmer.
Wait, hold on. Geo Sam, he did not throw his supporters under the bus, dude. He thinks that some of the writers are Antifa, I think, but I believe that.
But they're not. They're neo-Nazis.
I agree. Hold on. I agree they're not Antifa. I didn't say they were. I'm just saying he might think they might be Antifa disguised as Trump supporters. That's why I was trying to.
Is that okay?
What, being Trump supporters?
No, is it okay that these guys are like they have an impression that that Antifa did the violent stuff, and now they're acting as if the reason that things went violent was because Antifa instigated it. Do you think that's okay? Hang on, let me ask you this because this was one of the things that started coming out really quick, and this was actually coming out from right-wing sources like Gateway. So I'm kind of interested to hear what your take is. One of the things that came out, one of the quick narratives, was that a lot of the violence that was happening at the Capitol on the 6th was it was occurring because of a fringe group of either Antifa or activist, types. They weren't representative of the core. Given that that's what they thought, if they believe that that's the case, don't they owe BLM an apology?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they owe BLM an apology.
That's what they told BLM was going on. BLM was saying like, "Hey, 90% of our protests were peaceful, but we had these radical. Hang on.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't, dude.
My boy.
Oh my
hang
God,
on.
you're fucking retarded.
Yeah, they were, and when the ones that actually had these kind of like violent outcroppings, they would say like, "Oh, it was happening because we had like an Antifa grouping, or we had these like kind of like pro-revolutionary or like pro Black Panther groups or whatever. They were just like burn the town down or whatever, right? So they would do this kind of stuff, and they would use the peaceful protests as a cover in order to do this, right? Now, it turns out that with the Capitol protest is essentially trying to say the same thing. Like, well, it turns out, it was fine. It would have been peaceful, except for the violent tendencies of some of these outgroupers that turned it into something that it wasn't supposed to be. Well, great. That sounds exactly like the narrative we heard from any of the protest scripts in the summer. So given that that's the case, if that happened to you, it's very likely that it happened to them. So don't y'all owe them a fucking apology?
They should owe us an apology for trashing our businesses and trying to fucking make mom and pop stores like start over. Why in the hell?
Are you fucking kidding me? All right.
No, I'm not. Hold on.
Shouldn't the supporters apologize for our democracy being robbed?
Nope. He's not coming in here. Fuck him.
There you have it, guys. That'll be the end of it. The video's too long. I was gonna add some more, but it's just already long as it is. In the end, towards the end, I think me and Leo we actually became pretty cool. He started, lightening up a little bit. As for Jeff, he's gotten worse on the next round. I will post the next round, a third round to this, and that might be the final round as far as I know. As for right now, that's pretty much it. This wasn't a troll. Like, I have trolled the past clans and stuff like that. This was a little bit different. Alright guys, until next time.